What is going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharp. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. Another episode, another week. Let's go. Okay, we've got a fantastic guest, a wonderful and motivated and inspiring newly single mom who's kicking some major ass. Let's welcome to the show, Melody. How's it going, Melody?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, so you're fired up. You're not going to let anything in life hold you down. You're going to make it happen. Recently coming newly single mom, which I know I'm saying that like, hey, newly single mom, welcome, but that's obviously a difficult transition. Plus some past business challenges, learning lessons, right? Learning events, and you're still going. What is keeping you motivated right now?
Oh my goodness. Just, you can't, when you become a single person, whether you're a mom or a dad,
sure.
Or maybe you don't even have kids, but
I was just gonna say, exactly.
Yeah, everything, you just realize everything is now fully on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And so, while I have a full-time job and I am absolutely so grateful for that, there is no such thing as stability and security in the job world. And so I was just like, holy cow, like this is a moment of what happens if something happens to my job? Like now what am I going to do? And so that is what keeps me going. And no matter what, I'm the type of person that if I find something and I set my mind to it, it is go time. So
nice. So you found Legendary. Tell us a little bit about what you did before, at least in terms of side hustles or second income streams. Tell us what you did there with your network marketing experience, how that transpired, and then how you found Legendary and what has happened since you found us.
Yeah. So I started, I've always kind of been doing like MLMs, and I never had any success. I mean, little bits here and there, but it just, nothing ever felt good to me because I'm not an in-person person. Like I want to do things online. I kind of don't want to also go out there and genuinely try to be friends with people, knowing that I'm just trying to like get you in the door. And so that always felt a little like spammy to me and not natural. And so, I just I've always been in that space, and I've always been one to like, what can I do to earn extra money online? And so I came across TikTok. I came across Legendary on TikTok, like so many other people. But honestly, I was probably on TikTok because I just wanted to get my mind off of things that were going on in my personal life. And I kept coming across Legendary. And I honestly probably scrolled through so many of them just saying like, whatever, like, I'm not going to do that. And then I just kept seeing people that were making a pretty big impact in their financial situation. And I'm like, okay, let me check this out. And so I kept watching and looking and stalking people, not really stalking, but right. I was just kind of following them. And I was always also one to invest in myself. And so when it came up to this course was $7 and it was 15 days long, I kept saying to myself, like at one point I said, what is the holdup? What are you so resistant about? And I think it came down to, what if this doesn't work, and a fear of it not working. And so I jumped in. I was like, that's silly because I've taken so many courses. I've gotten certifications. I'm not scared to invest in myself. So I jumped in and was blown away by the amount of value that you get in this course. The personal advisors are incredible. And I was just like, wait a second, like you get this advisor and they help you like for $7, like what? And so I am so incredibly grateful. And so I just went through the course and it has been amazing. And I was able to, you know, get my first commission within 10 days. And that's not everybody's story. Some people are sooner, some people are way later. But at that very moment, I like literally cried, not because I got the commission, but it was the moment of believability for me. And I was just like, this works. And I knew that the type of person that I am, that if I just kept going, that I would see incredible results. And so I kept going and I kept going, and I'm committed to 4 TikToks a day. That is my bare minimum. And I do work this like my second job instead of having to go out and get a second job. So it's pretty cool.
Great. And those are more results than you've gotten in past businesses that you've done all the network marketing and so forth, kind of almost put together. I don't know if that's accurate, if I read that correctly, but yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%, like by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. You know, I think that's a great testament to don't stop before the miracle happens, you know, and that's not like the skies are going to part. It's just that your time is coming and you just have to find the right information from the right people in the right environment. Timing is up to, I don't know. I mean, is it odd? Is it God? Right? I don't know. I mean, sometimes it feels divine when you make that first commission, but it's more just about finding your tribe, finding the people who you can trust. Sometimes it takes us a little longer to trust than others. That's okay. But if it feels right, your gut tells you, hey, look, these people are real. This is authentic. And I think it's easy nowadays to tell the difference between people who are just flexing with whether they're rented or owned Lambos and sports cars and mansions, because even if they are owned, why the need to throw that in people's face and try to use that to bait people in? The truth is that if you have something of value, if you have something that will really change people's life, you don't need to fluff it up with all of the additional flexing. You just present it to people and, like you said, undersell, over deliver. And that's the best feedback that I could ever hope for, is what you just said. I went through and I got way more value than I ever expected. And then I went and I got results with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so many people do get results if they're dedicated and they put the time and effort in. If they just take and implement, because you can learn and learn and learn and go through this challenge and continue to learn. But if you are not taking action and implementing what you learned, you still are going to be at that no results place. So
yeah, you have to avoid the lifetime learning syndrome. And I think that's very common for a lot of people for whatever reason, probably because of the way that we were raised in our education system and then job market, to where we are told and conditioned to sit in a classroom and listen to somebody talk at us. And then we graduate to middle school and then high school and then college. And it's all just a bunch of the same stuff, right? Learning. And then we get a job, oftentimes not even in the same industry that we've been learning about, but then we go back to taking orders and just kind of do your job, don't ask questions. So people prefer, sometimes they feel safer to sit in that learning kind of mode because, well, that's what I'm used to. But when you break through that and you begin to get a bit comfortable being uncomfortable, and like you said, you turn around from consumer to creator, which is the transition that you went through. You did that rather quickly, though. When you do that, and you said, when I get involved in something, I kind of take the bull by the horns. Plus, newly single parent, your back's against the wall. You got a motivator there. But if you guys can find your motivator, even if you're in a perfectly healthy long-term marriage and the sky is not falling and you don't have tons of financial pressure, if you can figure out what is something that I can drum up that can push me, right? That can push me. Maybe I can erase my plan B. Maybe I can stop. I can figure out what is the story or excuse that I'm telling myself. And I can say that out loud, and I can say, this isn't real. This is just something I'm telling myself. I'm not actually as safe as I think I am. I'm not as secure as I think I am, because if my job goes away tomorrow, what am I going to do? That might be the motivation that you need. And when you do, this is what happens. Does that resonate with you, Melody?
Oh, 1,000%. Because I think in the past, it was just easy to stop or not keep going, or, try another thing to get results, because I didn't have to do anything. I mean, it was easy for me to say, okay, this didn't work. Whatever the obstacle came into play, like that didn't work. Let me try something different. And until like you have to, it's not like I have to, but it's a choice. I don't want to put myself in a position to where something bad happens.
Well, you can't, I mean, I think we all do, like, it's like pay now or pay later. That's kind of the motto that my wife and I live by in raising our kids. Well, what do you mean by that, Dave? Well, it's either put in the hard work while they're young, set the boundaries, create the structure, right? Sacrifice social stuff and kind of keeping them out late. Like, we're real rigid with our children in their structure, in their schedule, in boundaries with them, in our kind of our weekly and daily rituals. And the reason why we're like that is because we believe in the concept of paying now, or we can have none of that stuff and just kind of wing it and kind of say, hey, we're not going to sacrifice all this stuff for our kids. We're going to live our lives too, right? Well, then we'll probably pay later, because at 18, that child's not going to be ready to be able to go out in the world and survive on their own, to be able to take care of themselves. I believe business and in kind of approaching our financial situation is the same concept. Pay now or pay later. It's pay now with extra time and energy and maybe extra money, or pay later if all of a sudden you lose the job and you have nothing to back it up. Now you're scrambling, right? And so the reason why that came up for me was because I think that if we all frame it like that, even if we're in a comfy situation right now, we're not a newly single parent, we're not newly on our own, or we didn't just lose our job. We think about, what if I did lose my job? What if right? It's either pay now or pay later. Because if we don't prepare, if that happens and we've done nothing, we're going to be scrambling. What comes up for you do you agree with that? And what would you add?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And I think for me, I was just like, okay, let me do this and let me implement these things now. And it's a choice. But I think so many people get into a position like that where something happens with their job or something, and then they jump into something, and then they're in a desperate energy. And people don't like desperate energy. They can sense it. It comes off more like spammy. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm good. This is just what I'm going to do to help me be more secure in my financial situation. And so I jumped into this definitely with a mindset of, I'm not desperate. This is just a choice instead of going to get a second job for extra income.
Yeah. No, it's I think that many of us, we can either, I saw a comment, delayed gratification. I mean, there's a certain mindset in this, and you've been somewhat conditioning your mindset by doing some network marketing and stuff like that and not having immediate success. So if you guys think that you don't have it in you to like put in the work and have that delayed gratification, I would invite all of you guys to look at some of the things that you've done in the past that haven't worked out. You already know what it's like to have delayed gratification, right? You already know, because if you didn't get results with what you were doing before, you put in the work, you know what it's like to put in work and not get results. So now, taking the experience that you have from the past, putting total and complete focus into a business model that every single day we're bringing out people who are ordinary folks, who are not, you know how in network marketing, it's always the same. And I'm not trying to bash network marketing here, but I just was involved for so many years, and it was always the same 10 people. It was always the same 10 top leaders who were the diamond earners, the big, top people. And there was never, I was constantly looking around for the new success stories. And I was like, where are somebody getting results who just started 2 or 3 or 4 months ago? Right. And there wasn't any of those, but every single day we're bringing out ordinary people who just got started, who have ordinary things. They're not even full-time. They're not even full-time doing this. Right. All these other people that I had ever met were all full-time network marketers getting success. They were full-time. That's what they did full-time because they had success for a long time. And sometimes they had parents or family members that were in the business. There was all kinds of things that that they weren't telling me, right? But every single day here, we're building, hopefully, you guys' belief who are listening and watching this, and also you, Melody, too, coming on and sharing your experience, because Melody, you're also realizing what we're doing here is real. I got on 30 seconds before. I said, Melody, got any questions? She said, no, guess we're just going to wing it. I said, yep, we are. And then we went live, right? There's no script. There's no bullshit here. It's just, look, this is a model that you can do from home. This is a model that doesn't require you to have clients and customers and go out there and do sales and all this kind of stuff. You're just learning how to use the internet in a way that adds value to people's lives and gets them gets you to become the hunted instead of the hunter. That's it in a nutshell. And Melody, you can relate to being the hunter, right? When you're doing some of these business models, most of them out there, it's like you're like the hunter. You're, like you said, befriending people and handing out business cards and shaking hands and kissing babies. And it's like all to try to eventually close them in on something. And that's just not what we're doing here. Would you agree with that, and add anything just for anybody who's listening who has done some of these business models in the past to understand the difference of what we're doing here with affiliate marketing? And then if you wanted to go on and sell your own courses, coaching, or events.
Yeah, I definitely think that I can agree with the hunter and hunted, but Legendary is nothing like any of those. And, it teaches you a skill that you can either, promote this course, or you can promote whatever you like. I mean, pets is a big deal. Sports apparel is a big deal. Like, whatever you can think of, there is an affiliate program. And so you can take what you learned from this course, and if you don't want to promote an educational course or something like that, you can promote a product or whatever. And so it's awesome, because a lot of people, they don't want to promote, education. For me, I love education. I think that that's where a huge part of the industry is going. And for me, I enjoy growing, because learning is growing. So.
Yeah. And I wanted to add something else that a lot of times, Melanie, you can probably relate to this, I would assume, kind of the shiny object syndrome of wanting to, like, we buy into this multiple streams of income thing, right? It's like, makes sense, right? And most of the time, my experience is we as entrepreneurs, especially new entrepreneurs, just go about it the wrong way, right? We'll start a business over here in affiliate marketing, and then all of a sudden we'll go over here to like Amazon, or we'll go over here and get involved in crypto, and right? Models that don't complement each other, models that are in conflict with each other rather than in collaboration with each other. And the best way to create multiple streams of income, if you're running multiple businesses, is to create businesses that complement each other. Oftentimes businesses that may even collaborate with each other. But let me give you an example. So if I create, I'll tell you guys how to maybe approach this from just strictly doing affiliate marketing. So if you guys create a business in a specific niche, and then all of a sudden you kind of get that going. You systematize that. Melody, you said I'm creating 4 TikToks a day. Maybe you systematize that to where you're creating 4 TikToks a day. You upload those to Reels. You do 1 YouTube video, good solid YouTube video a week, and you email your list every day or every other day. That's a system. Okay. Every week I'm doing the same thing, right? I know what to expect. I know what I'm doing. I can plan for it. Now, let's say 6-9 months down the road, or a year, let's say a good year down the road, you got that humming. That business in that niche is pumping out 10, 12,000 a month. Okay. That's humming. All right. Maybe more, but 10, 12,000 a month, that's humming. Now, all of a sudden you get that little shiny object, multiple streams of income itch that we all get, right? We get a little bit kind of bored, or maybe something becomes successful. The difference is we don't do it before something's successful. We stick with it till it's successful. But here's the catch, and I want you guys all to listen to this very closely. I take that same system of the amount of content, or TikToks or Instagram Reels or YouTube videos or email, and all I do is I just go and I attack another niche. And I replicate that same system. So say, for example, you were doing education products in the make money online niche. Now I replicate that same exact system. Then you mentioned pets. I replicate that same exact system into the dog training niche, right? So now I'm doing 4 brand new channel on TikTok, for example, 4 TikToks a day, duplicating those TikToks over to Instagram, 1 solid YouTube video a week, emailing the list every day or every other day. Now for the next year, I've got a brand new business, but I'm not learning the business model all over again. All I'm doing is I'm replicating. And what it's like is you become like a McDonald's franchise owner, or somebody who's opening. You start an initial business and you franchise it across the country, because you already understand the system. You already understand the business model, right? And then I know people who have replicated brands. Affiliate marketing just is all they do is create the content. They don't create their own products, and they replicate those affiliate marketing businesses in niche after niche after niche. Now that's an advanced strategy, but that's how deep the rabbit hole can go and how big you can expand this. And you never have to learn anything new, really. You never have to start a business that's in competition. Rather, you're multiplying streams of income, based on a system that you already built. What comes up for you as I say that, and does that make sense to you?
It makes a lot of sense, and I think that that is ultimately where I want to be. And I think for people that are just starting out, my biggest piece of advice would be to master the one thing before you move to the next. Sure. For me, if I do too many things, that's where I kind of fall off and become inconsistent. And that is absolutely not what I want. But in the beginning, like I was making 4 TikToks a day, it took me longer because I was just trying to make them be a certain way. But then as time went on, those 4 TikToks a day were, in an hour or 45 minutes versus 2.5 hours. And so when I can start to master that and get my time down, and then start to implement other things, that's when you would want to do it. But I would say, don't do too much at once, because that's where people can struggle.
Absolutely. And I think giving yourself a full year at the beginning, not setting unrealistic expectations by saying, look, if I don't see results in the first 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, if I don't see some serious results, I'm out of here, right? Understand that most businesses out there really take time to get into significant profit. And I'm talking about like brick and mortar businesses. You usually have to give yourself a year or 2 or 3 before you break even on whatever financing, loan, equipment that you bought. So I tell people, give yourself how long, a really important question to ask yourself is, how long are you willing to commit to this before quitting or doing something different? How long are you willing to commit to this? And I'm asking everybody who's listening, how long are you willing to commit to this before quitting or doing something different? Because if you look around and nobody's succeeding and you're, the only fish in the bowl, you may think, geez, am I the goldfish here? And everybody's looking at me, kind of waiting for me to succeed. But if you're looking around and tons of other people are succeeding doing this, then you know that the model works. You know that it's possible. You know all the tools are at your disposal. There's training at different levels depending on how much accountability you want and how much feedback and coaching you want. You can start no matter where you're at. And how long are you willing to do? So do you have a different set of expectations? And I'll ask you directly, Melody, do you have a different set of expectations now than you did in the past? Do you think that's changed for you at all? Or do you think it's really just your back's against the wall and you're like, I'm throwing out all my, I don't know, excuses or whatever? Like, what do you think it is? You think it's an expectation thing or something different?
I definitely think that I'm in a different situation. But as far as expectations, I've definitely been in others where I'm like, I'm going to commit to this for at least a year. And I did work, but I didn't get the results. And so when I came here and I got those results and I see so many other people getting results, and I mean, like, I just from the get-go, I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this and I'm going to commit. And so, but I also know, like, at the deepest core of my soul, like, I'm going to be in a completely different place in 6 months, a year from now. And so it's just, this is what is aligned with me, and I love it. And it's amazing. And I'm so incredibly grateful for what you have created here.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm incredibly grateful for people like you who have come in and taken action, and not because of any, weird, not because we're telling you to do it for a year and, just trust, but because you're doing it, you got results and you're like, okay, I can see how I can replicate these results over and over again. I think you're somebody who's been exposed to entrepreneurship before. So I think you sort of already had that commitment mentality, and just what you were doing before wasn't working. I think for people who are brand new, who have never done any sort of entrepreneurship or business on their own, maybe you guys might want to look at the expectations that you have and just make sure that you have realistic expectations for them. Because unrealistic expectations are resentments waiting to happen, and usually we'll either, blame ourselves or blame somebody else. But either way, blaming doesn't help anyone or anything get rich. That's for damn sure. It might keep you broke, right? So let's talk briefly about what have you done in creating content and marketing that has worked, and what have you done that you've learned doesn't work?
So what is working is, oh man, TikTok has been a thing. So that's where I mainly am on the platform that I chose. And I started in the beginning on TikTok, and I actually had another personal account that it was just for funds before 2020 happened. And I was kind of on there, but what I was doing, which didn't work. So take note of this, guys, if you're growing slowly and you have multiple TikToks, okay? Because what I was doing was I was being my own biggest cheerleader, liking and sharing my stuff. And then I would go to my other account and I would go on my video and I would like and I would share it. Well, that didn't work so well for me. And because I had that personal account, and then I came on TikTok with Rise with Mel originally. And then I think I might have gotten like shadow banned or something. And it took me quite a long time to get to 5,000 followers. And like, it was over a month. And so I started a third TikTok, and it was Rise with Mel 1. And when I created that third one, nothing, like it was like nothing happened. And so I was just like, okay, let me see what's going on here. And so I did some research, TikTok research, and they say, if you have multiple accounts, TikTok does not like that. If you're going in between and liking and sharing your own stuff, TikTok does not like that. And so the instructions that they said to do on TikTok was to log out of your accounts that you're not using. And I was just like, okay, I have 5,000 followers, but I'm going to start this new one. And that I had to really sit and think, should I do this? And I did. And so I log out of those. I don't go into any of those accounts at all. And I was able to grow to 5,000, over 5,000 in 1 week. And so if you're struggling in that area, I would recommend one account. Don't go in between accounts, and like and comment and share and stuff like that. I didn't comment on my own stuff, but I did like and share it. So that definitely didn't work. And then the things that do work the best are where you're kind of showing people how to do something, like how to become an affiliate on Amazon, or how to, go to Upwork and find a job that could be an online job, or just other things that aren't specific to just affiliate marketing, but learning what people can do and like more or less teaching them. So that's been the best that has been working.
Yeah. And how you can kind of learn how to do that is really just by watching other. I mean, the biggest thing that I think people don't just overlook is just, we had a guest on last week who said, I have a system. I do one video in the morning that's, that's an inspirational one that's based on me working out, one in the afternoon that's a value. I'm teaching something, or something that I saw worked on somebody else's video, not reinventing the wheel, and then one at night to where I'm basing it off a trend, a trending song, a trending something that's, a trending topic, and tying that into my channel. But it's you really don't have to reinvent the wheel as far as content nowadays on the internet. You just have to sort of either ride the wave when it's happening, if there's something that's trending, or let somebody else do the testing for you, right? And so there's a and what I mean by that is that if I see a video that's blowing up, that's based on that's somebody showing somebody how to go to Upwork and fill out a job offer, or Fiverr, and create thumbnails for people's videos for $10 or $5 a piece, that's and that video is blowing up on TikTok. Well, that people enjoy that content. People like looking at that content. So let me recreate that in my own voice with my own way. And a lot of that comes from spending time researching, looking at other people's content and videos, and kind of seeing what's working out there. I think a challenge that a lot of people have is when I'm doing research, getting sucked into too much content consumption, and also getting into comparisonitis of comparing myself with other marketers and content creators out there. How do you avoid that?
Avoid comparisonitis. Oh,
well,
that's
yeah,
definitely a thing.
How do you deal with that? I mean, for a lot of people, that's paralyzing. It's paralyzing. They just can't get over the idea of that somebody would want to listen to them.
Yeah. And I think I have definitely struggled. I think everybody at some point struggles with it. You just have to say, this is my commitment. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to go. And there's going to be somebody that's doing the exact same thing that's going to make less than you. And there's going to be somebody doing the exact same thing as you that's making way, way more than you. And so you cannot compare yourself, or it will really bum you out. And so just do you, and don't worry about what other people are doing. I would say model if they're having success, but if you don't get 100,000 views on that same video that they just got 900,000, views on, don't worry about it, because I've literally created the same video on a different account, and it went viral, and then I did it on a new account and it got a couple hundred. And so it's just do you.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah, Jordan said, "LOL, that's my problem." Jordan, I want to say you're not alone. I want to let you guys all in on a little secret. Melody, you think I should reveal a dirty little secret of mine?
Do it.
Yeah, it's a dirty one. Um, Look, sometimes I even am amazed that people listen to me like they do. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, wow, like I wish my wife and kids listened to me like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I just go home and my wife's like, "Can you take out the garbage?" I'm like, "Don't you know who I think I am?" It's just crazy, I mean, it's like sometimes it doesn't. And I've been doing this for 10 years. I'll show up to events and people will be like, we're taking photos, or I've been asked to give autographs. I mean, it's crazy, right? And I mean, I do it like humbly. I'm gracious. I'm thrilled. I'm honored. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm this total DB who is like, oh yeah, who wants their next picture with me? I mean, it's like, but I think that a lot of people who you look at and you're like, oh, they just do this naturally. They're just naturally like know that they're worthy of being listened to. I think I've talked to some other really successful content creators. I've talked to even some people who are mildly famous, and they all have a level of imposter syndrome that is kind of like, I wonder if they find out who I really am, find out who I am behind the closed doors. Cause I'm a goofball, man. I mean, I am, I oftentimes will be doing some real silly shit like at home with my kids or whatever. And I'll be like, God, like imagine if this was on video, you know what I mean? And people were like, seeing me like this, like dancing around in my underwear, you know what I mean? Twerking in my boxer briefs. Yeah. Just being, we're all, I think, just regular people. And those of us who I think command more of a listening ear, or who attract people to follow us or whatever, are just those who people are able to look at and say, I like the way that person lives. Like, I like how comfortable that person is in their skin. You know what I mean? I like how authentic, how real this person feels, or I like how funny they are, and all of that is just really kind of, when I say step into your power, what I really mean by that is step into your skin. Like, you're given this set of skin, this face, this body, this this personality that's unique to you. And it's beautiful when it's used exactly how it was designed to be used, not laced in fear, not laced and riddled with anxiety of rejection or worrying about what people think, but really being you, and really kind of moving with your own unique swagger. And that doesn't mean that you can just go out here and be your authentic self and just everybody's gonna, right? You have to be presenting something of value. But if you present that in a way that is just natural, and you let all of the fear of what people think and the rejection kind of go, there's a natural connection that allows you to connect from your heart to somebody else's heart. And that's, I think, the stuff that really nowadays in 2021 is really going crazy right now, because I think a lot of people are just thirsting for that, that sort of communication interaction. Would you agree with that?
Definitely. I mean, the connections that you can make with people are incredible, and I think that so many people though are very skeptical, and so when you get into like DMs and things like that, that's when like you can truly build, a different relationship than just the views or the TikToks or the comments. So,
Yeah.
and I have Instagram connected to my TikTok. And the only reason why I have that connected to my TikTok is because I want people to be able to go to Instagram and then voice message me so that I can have that voice connection with them. Because on TikTok, you get so many characters and then you're done, or you just don't have the same response as you can over a voice. And so, yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, you can do that on Facebook Messenger too. Well, Melody, it looks good on you, so keep it up. All right, keep it up. You're definitely on the path, and you've already had a couple of quote miracles, right? Miracles through hard work that have happened, and there's many more I can see coming your way, and I know you can see them too. And that's what's really important, is that you go from others seeing them to you being able to see them. That becomes your vision, right? That's what we mean when we say vision. We kind of have a belief about the future that this is what's going to happen. This is what I'm going to make happen. And and I see it. I see it and I believe it with you and for you. So keep up the good work, and please come back and keep us posted on your journey.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dave, for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Melody. You earned it. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Take care.
See ya. All right, my friends. Well, there you go. Kicking off Monday with yet another one. I feel like DJ Khaled. Another one, right? Another awesome, inspirational member of this community, right? Who's living legendary, being legendary, has said F average, you know what I mean? You can read the hat, be legendary, right? What does that mean to you? Well, to me, it means that, I'm going to live my best life. I'm going to step into my power, into my skin that was given to me. And I'm going to make the most out of it. I'm going to stretch it to its limits. And, that's what Melody is doing. And that's what I invite all of you to do as well. And the payoff on the other side of that uncomfortability at first is rewarding. It's income, but it's also impact. And it's also inspiration for others. But here's the key, is when you become inspired by your own story, by your own life, by what you're doing, right? The fact that you're overcoming odds. Melody mentioned that she's a newly, single mom. Well, that's a tough situation. And I'm sure many of you guys have been through breakups or divorces. But what's inspirational is when you put one foot in front of the other and you say, I'm not going to let this break me down. I'm going to turn this into a breakthrough, right? And sure, that's absolutely inspirational to other people. But if you can create and see the power in your story and become inspired by what you're actually doing, that's a whole nother level of motivation. And I invite you all to live in a way, market in a way, build your business in a way that inspires you. And if it inspires you, your own story, what you're doing, it will surely inspire others. Join us back here again tomorrow for another episode. Get out of here. Peace.